Hi guys, welcome back to Beyond the Shift. I'm Eric. Guys, today I have a special guest by the name of Mr. Vandy. We're just gonna catch up, like talk about his challenges he faces in life and what's next for him. So sit, relax, and let's jump into it. Peace. So Vandy, brother, welcome to the channel, bro.
Thank you for the invitation as well. Hey,
No worries,
thank you, pleasure to be here.
Okay, take me, who's Vandy?
Well, who's Vandy? Hey,
Yeah.
good question. I guess a lot of people have been hearing this name, but haven't really seen the person himself. Well, my name is Vandy Kane from Sydney, Australia. Yeah, Vandy is just normal Vandy, and stay tuned and you know more as we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
that's it.
more. The first time I come across your name, Vandy. Back in the days, like all the boys like were playing soccer, all this, like your name was up there, Vandy. Vandy. So there was a party in I think Canterbury swimming pool back then. Yeah, but
That's where the days were.
You came, I was like, oh, so this is the Vandy, because back then your name was flying, bro.
It was a radar.
Yeah. So anyways, talk to me about soccer, man, because that's one thing that you have passion for. Like, that's where I know you. So what makes you started playing soccer? Is this something you grow up with or you just jump into it?
Well, it was something I jumped into when I came to this country. Yeah, I started playing for the first club. It was Granville Water 2002. On my way off, I started playing for the first club just down the road from mine. And that's where I think I learned a lot from. And also, there was a stage where I left Granville Water to go to another club called Granville Cupies. And then from there, I think that's where football really started hitting me. But the whole football, I could go back and say I give credit to my dad. Like, in a sense, he's back home. He's president of, I don't know if you know the place or the field called Mafa Field. Yeah, back in the West.
Guys, if you know Mafa Field, drop it down for us.
Yeah,
bro.
so Mafa Field, and he had a team and he's always been around football. Also, my late uncle was a player for Blackpool in the Australian Premier League. Yeah, so my whole family was into football, but for me, football, I used to play, I love it and everything, but football wasn't really my drive, Growing up, there's only two things I wanted to do, especially moving to Australia. One, family, especially my mom, wasn't approve of it, but my dad always approved of it.
So that I want you to play.
Nah, he wanted me to play, but then I always had a drive for something else. But then as time grew, I fell in love with soccer. I always wanted to join the army. That was my biggest passion, was always to join the army. But then, couldn't go that way. But then soccer came. And since soccer came, I meet great people in my life through football. And football has changed my life to become someone else that now I don't see nothing else that I want to do apart from being around football.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So when you started playing soccer back in Africa, or you started playing it when you moved to Australia?
I started playing soccer when I moved to Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was born during the war, so I didn't really get time to play those sports. But yeah, because then I had to go to Bull, from Bull, then I had to go to my dad's village called Masao. Yeah, if you know, Dandabu and all that stuff. So from there, moved to Guinea. From Guinea, I also came here, so yeah.
Okay, so when you started playing soccer in Australia, so how was like soccer for you, like with this new community, with these new boys? How was it for you?
If we can talk in the juniors age growing up playing football, it wasn't really a big thing. But when you do play park football back then, there's a tournament they used to call Champion of Champions, State Cup. That's where you could really see that was difficult. But then at the same time, we were young. It wasn't really affecting that much, but it would affect the parents that used to come and watch the games. Because I remember so many times my brother would get into argument with someone else because I'm not going to come here and say I never had the family support. All my family was at my games, my training session, my brother, my dad, my mom, my uncles, everyone will be there to watch me play. And obviously, back then I was slim. Now, got a lot of handles. So
Okay.
Yeah, so back then I was fast and everything. So every time I used to go, people used to say, call names and everything. But then to me, it wasn't really hitting me, but would hit my parents outside. And then after the game, I'll be asking, what's wrong? What happened here? And then they'll just say, this is that. But yeah, so.
Was it because like by then you were young, like you didn't have the knowledge about what these people were saying, or you were just passionate, like you just want to go out there, show yourself?
Well, as I say, coming here at a young age, I only started knowing racism as going to high school. You know, back then, primary school, you didn't know much. They'll call you names, you just laugh about it, or this is that. But going to high school, that's when I started knowing even there was racism existing. So for me, I think is when I was getting to that senior year, secondary schools and all that. That's when I started seeing racism was existing. But obviously, back then, young age, I wasn't really focused about it.
Okay. So now let's talk now. Yeah, okay. In your youth age, playing soccer. So what are the challenges you face? Okay, now you're mature. Yeah. Because in life, every one of us go through challenges. So I want to know, like, for Vandy, what challenges you face?
For me, what I faced was, you know, back playing, trying to get into the NPL levels, the Super League. There was a lot of things that you face, a lot. But if I could talk for myself, I would like to talk about mention other people, you know, not names, but like I used to see how the other Africans will get, you know, they'll be physically good and everything, but then problems will stop them not to get in financial wise. Because back then, man, it was $2,000 to play if you want to play for these clubs. That's a big challenge, because even myself, it once happened to me when I wanted to go to Thailand, and then the coach said, look, I don't care if you don't have money, just buy your flight ticket, and then I could do the rest for you. And then I went and asked my dad, and my dad goes, hey, well, what, Richie? And I'm like, oh, if you know what that means, if you don't know, ask the boss. Yeah, we explained to you in the comments. Yeah, and that thing really hurt me, because I really wanted to go back then. And then the next day, my dad went and bought a car for my mom. And I'm like, hey, this guy, what's this money compared to this car, you know? So that was a big challenge for me. But then, God bless, I came around good people that supported me as well, with financially wise when it was going to the football. But then we put the football aside, there was still that racism, politics that was playing, especially playing for Sydney Olympic. If you were not Greek, you have to be super, super good for you to try to fit in, or you got to know the coach. So there has to be a connection between you and the coach for you to play back then in Sydney Olympic. It looks like Rockdale City Sands and all that stuff. So yeah.
Wow, that's even me. I faced something similar as well, to play for like a good top clubs here. I don't know if you know about this one. Was Sydney Uni.
Yeah, Sydney Uni was one of the best teams back in the days.
Yeah, I started playing for them, but my own challenge was someone who has to drop me, but I don't have anyone to drop me because my dad was new, African parent, busy finding the money. Yeah, so that was, for me, that was my challenge.
If I can get into it, I don't think that was your challenge. That was all African challenges. Because I think what the parents don't see in these boys is different to what they see at home. They see them at home as to go to school, learn, go to uni. Back then, you started off as a panel beater.
Yeah.
Back then, if our parents would have given us that knowledge to say, if school wasn't for you, go learn trade, I think a lot of us that's not playing football right now would have been somewhere with a trade, you know?
100%.
So if our parents didn't see that in us, that's what a lot of Africans face. Like, it looks like I used to have a friend, or still my friend, is still my brother, Alpha Bangura. There was no car catching public transport. I have a brother afforded. We used to catch a ferry to go watch his game, you know? No parents. But then, in the longer run, when the parents start seeing something to invest now, it's too late.
It's too late.
And so that's what's affecting a lot of Africans now, you know?
Yeah.
And if I can speak, I would love to speak about my own people, my own Sierra Leoneans. I'm seeing a lot of them happening, especially the young boys that's coming with the talent, but where's the support?
Yeah, I know. Okay, now, take me in. So now you talk about your challenges you face. Now, tell me about the positive side, like what makes you keep going in the soccer? Like what, the passion for you, apart from the challenges, what makes you
the passion? I could make anyone proud would be my coaches and my family and my dad, especially my dad. Because when we first came here, it wasn't easy. He was doing 12 hours job, especially on a Saturday, there's a game. My mom wasn't driving then. You know, he'll come home, sleep. And back then playing that young age, under 14s, under 10s and all that stuff. It was early game. The guy would finish work from Castle Hill, and had to go all the way. God knows whoop. In that Granville comp back then, it was Balcombe Hills, Castle Hill and Western Hills. So that guy has to drive me, take me, wait there, come. Then the next Saturday, the same Saturday night, he goes back to work. So for me, he told me something. He's like, if you can't and eat soccer money by playing, eat soccer money by doing something else. And when I know my time was up, I'd say, you know what, let me get myself into something that in the longer run, I can eat the benefit of soccer. But yeah, so that's what really pushed me into it, and have the passion, especially as I say, I was lucky to have the right people around me, because even coming across a coach from Elwood Wanderers, to Sydney Olympic, these guys are like my godfather. You know, they're always there for me, night, day, anytime I call them, you know, so they're always there for me, and they give me all the tips, you know. So at the end of the day, whatever I'm getting out of soccer right now, it's from them. Yeah.
That's lovely, bro. Like, for you to like do this, put your efforts into soccer just because of the sacrifice you see your dad make, that's legit, bro. I appreciate you, bro.
No, all good.
So now, take me back here, Vandy, the fatherhood. How that happen, bro?
Whoa, that's a big one, bro. Like, you know, fatherhood, before I start anything, same thing goes again to my parents. God bless them, you know? Like, if it wasn't for them, God knows where I would be by now. It's something sad, because, you know, depression hit.
Of course.
I was in the dark. And it's a good point you bring up, because when that happened, I was 11 years old, you know? Just started year 7, freshie, bro, going to year 7, and then things like that happened. It wasn't easy, especially our Australian community. It was not easy. I was finger pointed at. I was called names, you know. I was even dating a girl. Her family had to tell her to stop talking to me because I got a kid at that age. And the rumors that was going around, if I didn't have the good people around me, like my brothers, and, you know, a good friend of mine now, you know, she was once my lover, Nancy Kamara, you know, if I didn't have her around me, I think my life would have been a mess by now. Maybe I would have been dead by now, you know. And having Sonny Kamara, Fode Kamara, those people had my back, you know. Apart from everyone else, everyone was just, you know, everyone was just douche, if I could say that.
I want to know, like, when you found out you're going to become a dad, how did your family take the news?
Well, to be honest, the question you just asked, what was the question again? How did I find out? How did I feel when I was going to become a dad?
No, you know, when you find out you're gonna become a dad, yeah. So you're like, now you're trying to make up your mind to tell your family.
First I didn't tell my family. My family even knew before me. One day I finished school, I was going to Granville, and then fortunately I saw baby mama, this is a big mom, off the train, and she goes, "Oh, your friend gave birth." I'm like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Oh sweet." So I said, "Congrats." I'm like, left her there, and then next minute I left Granville, went home. "Oh, you know this person gave birth, yeah?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." "Oh, sweet." "Oh, my family said they're gonna go visit." They went. My family heard the news. They come back home. They say, "You're the dad." I'm like, oh man. That day, my stomach was in 200 degrees of hot water, bro. It was boiling. I could feel it, man. It wasn't easy. I didn't know what to do. I was depressed. Like, I just shut it down, man. Like,
were you guys in a relationship, or like something just happened?
That's a long question. It's a hard question to answer, sorry. But then, I don't know the situation, maybe a situationship, or maybe it was just a high school thing, or it was just, you know. If you know this word, maybe it was just play catch. So, So, I hope she's not watching this.
It's okay.
Well, that's about it, yeah. So, well, look, I'm grateful for it. You know, she's a big girl now. Yeah, she's 18. And as I say, God bless my family, because whatever my family done to me, I took it, and now she's carrying it, you know? And now she's a baller as well. She plays in the Premier League in Melbourne for a good team as well, but yeah.
Okay, I know you talk about your family, like they support you, everything, yeah? So how did you
manage it?
Yeah, balance school, young dad, or like everything around you, soccer, how did you manage everything like
first, like managing wasn't easy, but as I say, God bless them, because what a man should do back then, I couldn't afford it. But I couldn't even afford. I'm sorry to say this. I'm a sport brat. You know, going to school, parents were looking after me, giving me lunch and everything, and then also supporting the baby there as well. It wasn't easy, so it got me to a stage back then. I had to go work at KFC. You know, 3 days at KFC or so, then school, then soccer trainings and all that stuff. So it balanced well, but then at the same time, I needed to look for money for myself while my family was supporting me over there, because even if I make money back in the days there, it wasn't even gonna be enough. Maybe it would be enough to say to my family to add what they gotta add into it and do it, but run that, my family let me off, say, do what you gotta do. It has happened, you know? So yeah, so for me, I'll give them credit, because I didn't really play a part until I got to a stage where I know I could start doing my part, so yeah.
Okay, so now you get to that stage now where you started doing your own part, yeah? So tell me about the challenge you face in that part, bro.
Well, first, it's a whole thing that me and the girl, we went court. Then from court, next minute, my boss called me at work, going, "Hey, look, listen, they called us." And I just started apprenticeship, and imagine back apprenticeship, you couldn't even make $400 or $500, and then they said, "Oh, they're going to put me on child support." And as I say, God bless my boss too at work, for helping me out and everything, knowing the fact that, he accepted. And yeah, we had to work toward it, and paying child support too. She's 18, it wasn't easy. It was a big challenge. You gotta make sure that you go to work Monday to Friday. If you gotta do weekends, you gotta do weekends. It all depends if you love the money, because the more money you make, the more they take out. But then think about it. When, say example, apprenticeship, you're making $350 a week, then they have to take out of that money. What's left with you, And so yeah, so that was a big challenge for me. That was a big challenge, and it's lazy.
You started working, yeah? So was because of you supporting the kid or because of your dad, that's why you jump into the workforce, or what makes you jump into the workforce?
Well, for me, when I finished C12, like, just wanted to play football because I got the love and all that stuff. But then, especially my dad was telling me, football is not everything, You got to back it up with something. If football doesn't work, you got to go do something. And as I say, my family had that little bit of, knowledge, knowing the fact that it's not everyone you need for, They were telling me, go learn trade, go do this. My dad wanted me to become a mechanic, electronic mechanic or whatever mechanic, this, that. I'm like, me, blow cars. And my uncle was a mechanic, so weekend he would take me there, but my head was not focused about mechanic and this is that. So, and I was working at timber yard and everything called Nice Timber, designing timbers, window frames, door frames, and all that stuff. That was another one too. My dad had to call the boss, the company, and be like, "Are you taking apprenticeship?" He's like, he wanted me to do apprenticeship. Luckily, who answered was the boss, and the boss goes, "Oh, Mr. Kenneth, I've spoken to your son about enrolling the apprenticeship course. This is that. But your son is still, refusing. This is that." Because for me, I didn't see myself as a carpenter. I didn't want to. I was just there. Like, I worked with my brother Fode. And Fode will even be my witness. I just wanted to, I'm a person, I want to do a management role. That's what I see myself that I'm good at, No using my hands, not using my foot.
So the carpentry, yeah? Like you just said, like that was not something you wanted.
Nah.
But what are the positive you took from that?
The positive I took from the carpentry, it was doing apprenticeship. And right now, like in my resume, I completed the course. I completed the tape course, that finished my apprenticeship and everything and all that stuff. So that's a positive. I learned a lot about CNC machineries, how to operate machineries and all that stuff, and how to use power tools and everything. So for me, that's on my CV, in the resume. So when I apply for a job, they see that there already, and I'll got the certificate and everything. It opens a massive door in that workforce for me. So that when I do put my application in, they'll be like, all right, yeah, at least he has a trade certificate. It's not just a number. It's something that in the long run, we can, take him there, or he can tell someone else how this machine work if it comes to machinery, how to use these tools, how to use, all that stuff. So yeah, so that's the thing that's the credit I could take from it. But yeah, the work itself, the people there, I love them and I still keep in touch with them. I've left them for how many years now, but it was a family there to me as well, because the boss that was there was in love with football. And this boss, knowing my talent, that he even opened an academy to go work there. And also he was in contact with Pep Glory for me to go try out and everything and all that stuff. So yeah, we still keep in touch. So yeah.
Wow. That's good, man. So now let's recap everything, yeah? If you have to advise young Vandy, and I know there is someone out there, yeah? They're gonna become a dad soon. They have their own different challenges in life. But with your own experience, with everything you've been through, what's the advice would you give to young Vandy and that young kid watching you now?
Oh, it's a good question. But before I give them the advice, I got to support them with what they love first and let them make that choice of theirs, not me pushing them to do what I want them to do, because at the end of the day, they choose what they want to do and you give them that support. That's a boost for them to rise in it. But if you choose for them to do something you want them to do, it's like bypassing you're just going to deliver the message, but it's not going to sink in the head. So for me, at the end of the day, whatever anyone wants to do, let's be there and support them regardless of what they want to do. And I'm always going to be there no matter what. They know that. Financial wise, and everything, emotional. But yeah, I can't really say the best yet for what I'm going to advise them until I see them taking that footstep to say, this is what I want to do. And then in my whole life, I could take that time to research and give them that knowledge of what they want to do the best as I can.
Okay. So let me ask you this now before So what's next for Mr. Vandy? What's next?
What's next?
What like the people are expecting from me, like what are we gonna be seeing in the next maybe 6 months, 5 months or so?
What's next? There's something cooking.
Something cooking.
Yeah.
So do you wanna share with us or not?
There's something cooking, but then at the same time, it's good when everyone's buzzing. So I'm just gonna leave it there. Let people keep buzzing.
Put everyone
on the shock, you know?
So what kind of spices are you gonna put in there?
Every ingredient, everything, you know. And if you go to go chef now, I'll go look for jumbo maggi, chef, or put inside it. So everything, you know, and ogrio, if also like ogrio, to put inside the back, so that way they smell them first. Even if they will taste them, but they smell them. Wait inside the brain, wait shake them brain, cause but there's something coming, that's for sure, 100%, yeah. Okay. 100%. So yeah.
Well, my guy, before we call it a day or so, I want to ask you this, what's this logo Beyond the Shift means to you, like for you? With everything you just share with us, the challenges you face, everything, your whole life. So for you, what's this logo means to you?
Well, at the end of the day, what it means to me, it tells that I can open up myself and talk out to people that are hiding something in them, that are going through something, that it's good to come out and talk something out. Don't just hide it, because mental health is real, you know? There's a lot of people suffering that they can't open themselves out and talk what they're going through and everything. So for me to be out here, it's for my brother's show, but then at the same time, it's for people to know who I am. Don't just look at me out there and judge me when you don't know my stories or you don't know my past. Because at the end of the day, you can judge me negative, but then when you do sit down with me, you know, oh, this dude is different dude, man. It's not what people think. So for me, I think that's what this whole show is about for me, and that's what it means to me, that I can come out here and open myself up and then let people know who I am. And so if you do see me on the street, don't be like, oh, this guy has ego or he's a bit cocky. Nah, you know, we're all human beings, you know, regardless of your status. I'm not here to judge nobody, you know, it all comes to respect, that's it. 100%. So yeah.
Well, my guy, I want to say thanks, man. Like, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for opening up to us. Because I know people out there, they already listen to you. I know there's someone out there who's going to take from your challenges, your story, and it's going to push them to the next stage of their lives. So guys, we all had the brother. He say everything about his past, his challenges. No matter what challenges you face in life, there is always another side of you. Don't let what you're facing or what you faced before pull you down. You always have to push forward, open up. So guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on your notification bell so whenever we upload, you'll be notified. We'll catch you again. Peace out.